So we're back with Savannah, learning how to get your kids to do what you want without yelling at them. So the next question we had submitted was, what do you do about backtalk? You can't tell me what to do, you're not the boss of me, those kind of things. So, Savannah?
Well, it was like, first try to use the gentle tone like you said, and then, but my idea was to do like a 3 warning thing where you say, okay, I'm giving you a warning, and if we get up to 3 warnings, I'm going to impose a consequence. Warning 1, I'm giving you this warning. They don't listen the second time. Warning 2. And then, like, if it gets up to the 3rd time, I think you should take whatever's distracting.
Mm-hmm. So if they're playing on the computer, they lose the computer. If they're playing with Barbies, you pick up the Barbies.
But, like, if like that's like just seeing you're serious, then just say, all right, I'll give them back to you, but you need to promise to listen to me when I'm talking to you and obey what you're doing, what I want you to do, and then.
Okay, so we had this discussion a little bit earlier. The only question we actually prepped for, because we just were sitting here for a minute, and we talked about that, what the child is doing in those kind of situations is expressing anger or upset. And why would that be? Well, probably because Mom or Dad is yelling at them. First, let's try to maintain the calm tone as the parent. And then I asked her, well, what if they don't respond? What if they don't respond? What if they don't respond? And she said, well, do the 3 warning rule. And that is, I think the ideal is this is an imposed consequence. We talked about natural consequences. Don't listen 3 times. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to raise your voice. Boom. There's the imposed consequence. And then you empathize with them. So, it's a bummer when you lose your toys or lose your privileges. I'm surprised you made that choice. You knew the 3 warning rule, and you could go back and, again, get the agreements ahead of time. Okay, this is a problem. We have yelling. How many people like getting yelled at? How many people like clean rooms? How do we handle this? Get our agreements. Do you guys agree to the 3 warning rule? Sure. And then it's imposed, and it's their choice. Their choice to have the consequence. Okay, so next one is the hitting, fighting, hurting, pinching, biting, stabbing, all the things that kids do when they lose their temper. So what do we do about kids losing their temper? I don't think we have a chance.
Like, you can't change that. You can't, like, make them not.
Adults lose their temper, right? So,
I mean, you could put them in a cage. Separate cages.
So maybe a little bit of empathy first, that we lose our temper too. Maybe we don't punch or bite, when we're adults, but we do lose our temper, and our job is to teach them how to handle losing their cool like that. So what do you suggest?
Well, first empathize, and then then say, what's the problem? They keep fighting. Say, then if they keep fighting, then that's usually the part where you start yelling. Tell me what the problem is!
So how do we get around that? We don't want to yell. We want them to stop fighting or stop hurting without yelling.
That's probably a good time to say, I'm help you. Would you like my help with
Mhm.
this? And then
And
if
we've talked about that a lot, that whenever somebody is upset, the person in front of you that's upset wants something. Sometimes they want something to stop, but like they don't want something to continue, and sometimes they want a toy or they're wanting something.
Yeah.
So help them get what they want. So let's say that Gates is playing with a Lego and Amory tries grabbing it and Gates punches her. You stop the violence, of course. How do you help him get what he wants? How do you teach that?
Well, there could be like the other thing. Well, there's a couple of options right there. You could say, here's another one. Do you want, you can have this one, or you can do, all right, Gates, Amory would really like the same Lego that you have. How about we set a timer for 4 minutes? No, I don't want, that's too short. How about, let's come to an agreement. 5 minutes. 100 million minutes. All right, how about let's set an agreement in the middle? How about 5 minutes? Like doing something reasonable, or you could do the thing like, it's like the amount of time can't go past your age.
That's a rule we've used with some success.
It doesn't always work.
Because it's unfair. You know, if you're playing with something and you're 5 years old, you have to give it up in 5 minutes. What if you really wanted to play with it?
Yeah. Then it's like, but
So,
I had it first. You can't just tell me to give it.
So I think that might get somebody else upset if you force them to give it up in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's something we can try.
And then there's also, like, you should probably try first. Look at this Lego. It's the same color. It's the same color, but it's not the same shape, but it's the same color. Do you want to try playing with this Lego? I think this Lego's really cool.
So I remember one time where Gates was really upset, and I just gave him the structure for Ask What He Wants. I think West stole his toy, and I said, "You can do this. Put out your hand. May I have my toy back? Put out your hand. May I have my toy back? Put out your hand. May I have my toy back?" And after about 12 times repeating that, he actually said it and calmed down. So, just teaching how to manage out of control. One last question. My kids won't try new foods, picky, won't eat if I put this out, won't try anything new. So
that's like the sacred situation.
Sacred is our pickiest, for sure.
Then I would probably do, I don't know whose idea this was, but one of Mom's friends had this, and she explained it to Sacred, that you try a bite of, like, you can get something new, but you need to try at least a bite of each thing that was served, because you never know, you might like it.
So you get to have something else. We'll pick something else. You just have a bite first. If you don't like it, we'll find an alternative, and if you do like it, you can eat it. We also have a kind of a standing rule that you have to have a protein and you have to have a vegetable, carbs obviously aren't hard to get kids to eat. Fruit and breads and cereals and all that kind of stuff.
But that's an
So
optional.
if they don't like what we're serving, I don't know. I'm kind of against. My mom used to sit us at the table and you're gonna stay there till you eat it. And guess who won? I sat there until she finally said, "Go to bed." So I'm not a big fan of forcing anything. But you could ask for an agreement. Would you be willing to do this?
Like
if we have something you don't like,
I don't
give
like,
it a try.
Like, say, like the person who's cooking the meals, and say, I don't enjoy cooking 5 different meals for every different individual person. And then sometimes a second meal for the person, another person because they don't like it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, there's been times where I was cooking up 3 different things, and what we try to stick to is if the protein and the vegetable is not acceptable, they're not willing to try it, then it's like a snack. You know, they can have almonds or some ham or some pepperoni or something for their protein, or a little bit of cheese or something like that, but there's not an additional preparation, something you can just grab out of the refrigerator. So lots of salads are eaten. Just grab a little spinach and dressing. Lots of cucumbers are eaten. It used to be raw carrots, but we kind of got sick of those. And then there's certainly things that we find that click. You know, the crunchy kale.
Yeah.
And what else?
Eggplant. That was a good one.
The baked eggplant, yeah.
For a long time. I was bought an eggplant a long time.
Cabbage soup, actually. I would have never guessed, but that went over pretty well with Sacred.
And cucumber.
Cucumber we mentioned. So we just have that flexible rule that says, okay, you can go to the refrigerator, get the cucumber if you don't want what we're serving here. You can go find your protein. They, pretty much know what the options are at this point. They can, even the twins who are 5 can go and grab their own stuff. So.
And then all you have to do is provide that stuff in the refrigerator.
And we try to have cucumbers and spinach pretty continuously, for sure. All right, well, that was all the questions. I certainly appreciate it, and I think people will appreciate this too, Savannah. Well, thank you very much.